This is video number 1 on how to glaze the 5520 panels, our new door. The 5520 configuration in this video is an XXO, where X is a sliding panel, O is a fixed panel. We're going to look at glazing the O panel, which is the fixed panel. The O panel consists of a top rail, which looks as this, which goes to the top of the glass, a bottom rail, which does not have wheels, which looks like this, and it has an uneven fin or a leg, an interlocker, which also has an uneven leg here, and this is what the interlocker looks like, and a fixed style, which also has an unequal leg here. Okay. The first thing we do is we wrap EPDM glazing gasket around the glass. We start at the top right corner. It's mited at a 45-degree angle, and we go all the way around the glass until we get back to the same corner, and we make sure everything meets and none of the gasket binds up. The first piece we put in is the top rail, which is this item right here. We simply slide onto the gasket gently, make sure everything is lined up, and we bang it in place very nicely. And then we go to the bottom rail. Again, we've got to make sure we understand that in the bottom rail there's an unequal fin or a leg on the bottom rail. That leg goes on the outside surface of the sill track. So we have to make sure that all the outside all the fins of each component of this fixed panel are lining up. So we put the bottom rail in the same way. We bang it in gently. Then the next item we take the vertical interlocker, and we apply it vertically, and we make sure that the fin of the interlocker lines up with the fin of the bottom rail. Put it in gently like this, and we bang it in. We start at one end and bang it in, and then make sure it's nice and mate. Then we take the fixed style, move the panel over to the side of the horse, take the fixed style, make sure the fin or the unequal leg matches up with the unequal leg of the bottom rail and the interlocker, and we bang everything into place. Make sure everything is nice and trim. And then any gasket that's standing out, we want to push back into place here, so everything is nice and flush, and everything is in place. Obviously, we're doing this very fast for the purpose of the video, so this has to be done carefully. Once we have it together, we want to secure it. So on the fixed style side, where we have the fixed style to the top rail, we use a fixed style washer plate that's supplied by Arcadia, and two number 12 by 1.5 hex washer head fasteners. Okay, and the way this works is we take the plate with the holes to the facing the top of the panel. We slide it in as such, acts like a washer, and then we simply mount 2 screws. Make sure the screws have wax on them, just regular wax. And we're going to mount the screws at the top hole. That's enough. And the next screw will go at the second hole. And that's it. And we're going to then screw it all the way in at the end. Then we go to the other side of the top rail, and we connect the interlocker to the top rail. We use what we call an interlocker support bracket. It's an extrusion that we have that looks as so, and it's cut to length. And this interlocker support bracket acts as a washer on the interlocker side, and we'll show you how that goes in. It slides in, so it slides in basically like this. So you can see exactly how it slides in, just like that. And then you take the same number 12 fastener and you screw it in at the second hole from the top, and do another one at the first hole from the top, and that's fine. Then you come back and tighten it later. Then you go to the bottom, you take the same fixed interlocker support plate, but now this one's cut a little bit longer, but it's the same exact piece that we used at the interlocker at the top rail, and we're going to feed it in the bottom of the interlocker as so. Again, it feeds in right like this gently, and it slides all the way in till it's flush here. And here we're going to go from here, and the two holes there in that big notch, you use the same number 12 by 1.5 fasteners. You put one here, and you put one here, and that's it. And then you go to the other side, and you use also a fixed style washer plate with the same 12 by 1.5 hex washer head fasteners, and you slide the plate. This time the holes facing inwards, so the holes match up with the holes here. And if you notice, the second and third hole are the ones that go through the washer, through the fixed style, into the fixed bottom rail. And we have not tightened this because you just want to put it together to illustration. Then you go around the whole panel, make sure everything is nice and tight. You can bang it in, clean it up, and then you slowly secure every joinery by tightening the fasteners all the way in. And then you go back and you make sure that every corner gasket is neat and together, and apply a little dab of silicone on the corners here, so there's no problem with air infiltration or wood infiltration. And this is how you glaze the fixed panel of the 5820 XXO.